All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Shaw and Steele Show. We are recapping another crazy week of college football, Week 11. Steel Chambers, how you doing, man? I know it's cold in the South today.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Looks like you're over in paradise right now, huh? You
Don't
see
worry about
palm tree behind you.
don't worry about where I am. I'm ready to get into this. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. So obviously we're gonna start with the alma maters first, and we got to start with Friday night USC versus Northwestern. Steele, I know you're busy with a bachelor party. Did you get a chance to watch my Trojans?
Yeah, we watched a little bit of ball. There was a USC fan in the house.
What did you think? What did you think about that game?
You guys look like shit.
Oh my God! You say
I
that
think,
every
dude. I mean, Northwestern, no slack to them, but they're not the best team. And in the first half, you guys were just going blow for blow with them. Every single drive seemed like it was a touchdown. And then the one play, me and my buddies, I hate this rule. The pick on Maava,
yeah.
fantastic job by him getting able to punch it out or hit it out at the goal line. But that should have been Northwestern's ball.
Why? Because it went through the back of the end zone?
I know through the back of the end zone, it's a touchback and USC gets it back. But I think that the rule should be Northwestern gets the ball on the 20.
Okay.
That completely changed the whole game.
It did. All right. Let me give you my take because I was at the game and it was a pretty interesting one. First off, I think Northwestern is a little bit better than people are giving them credit for this season. I do think they're a pretty good team. Secondly, Steele, I 100% agree with you. I think that, and unfortunately I say this, I think if Maava didn't force that fumble, one, and two, which I love USC, I love Coach Riley, and you gotta give him credit for taking advantage of whatever he did. But that fake punt with the backup punter wearing the same number, you saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty Bush League. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty Bush League.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I thought that's the one good thing you guys fucking did, man. I thought that was genius.
I thought it was Bush League, but hey, it worked out. But with that being said, I think without those two plays, this game would have turned out way differently. I will say that because I think once I saw in the stadium Steele, once they fumbled, once they got the pick and then Jaden forced the fumble, went out of the back of the end zone, you could just see it broke Northwestern's hope and soul. And Northwestern, they're not used, they don't have a winning culture, so it really looked like that broke their hope. But in the second half, I thought we came out nicely. We're able to run the ball. Jaden Maava again using his legs like he did the previous week. The offense is Mekhi Lemons as good as it gets, obviously. So the offense showed me what I need to see again in the defense. Second half made some adjustments and stopped the run and played nicely, but first half far too many rushing yards again, and they got a real test coming up this weekend that we'll talk about on Thursday. But that's all I got for this one. You ready to move on?
Please, yeah, let's move on. No more USC.
All right, to the second game. The Ohio State Buckeyes versus Purdue. Did you get a chance to check this one out?
I didn't watch this one too much, but I know basically what happened.
Yeah, I actually watched this one a pretty good bit, so I'll start it off. A surprisingly little slow start from the Buckeyes. Little slow start. They gave up the most points they've given up in a first drive all year long. I'm pretty sure, which is 3, but still points. But man, Julian saying he's efficient as it gets. 27 to 33 again. That's like 3-4 weeks in a row where he's missed like 4 or 5 passes. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. And then Carnell Tate, I wasn't sure why he didn't play or get in there much, but Jeremiah Smith, I mean, that dude's a freak. He proves it again that he's the best receiver in the country by far, and then they pull away. I think Purdue's still a shitty team this year, but not as shitty as they usually are. So Ohio State did what they had to do and showed me once again that they're the best team in the country.
Yeah, what I did watch, it seemed like they were really trying to get their running game going, and it just wasn't happening. Yeah. And it's almost the reverse, where a lot of teams, they would like to get the run game going, and then it opens up the pass game. It seems like they get the pass game going, and they try to open up the run and just try to get things started because they don't have a number one running back right now. They're just throwing guys in there, hoping they can produce a little something. Some
of them are getting fucked up in pass pro too, man. Them running backs. I sent you that video. I'm like, dude, they better pick it up, or this is going to cost them in a big time game.
Yeah, West. I remember a certain play where he got hit pretty bad, but this running game, it's the one glaring issue for this team, and it's not that bad But whenever you've got a team that's so successful in the pass game, a defense that's so dominant, it becomes a real glaring issue whenever there's just one area of the game where they're not as great. And the run game is just – I really hope it doesn't come to bite them in the ass, because if someone can shut that down, make them one-dimensional, even though they've got these receivers, it will make it very not easy, but easier to contain that offense.
No, I agree. But man, Hartline, I heard he's getting a lot of head coaching interest from different places. What do you think about that?
I just don't. I don't know about that. I feel like
I agree.
I mean, he bleeds Ohio State. He's got a nice ass house over there in Ohio with his family. He could definitely get a job offer, but I don't see a world where he ends up being a head coach on one of these other teams, unless he wants it, of course, because he's got the resume. He's got to bring in a bunch of talent.
Right.
I'm not sure how that will work out.
I think knowing him, he probably does want to be a head coach somewhere. But if I'm like a Penn State, because that's what I'm hearing about, I don't know why. I would go look for a more proven head coach type of guy, if there is one that comes to mind, and that's out there before I went to Coach Hartline. But he is a good recruiter, and he is a good players coach, I guess you could say. But I'm not 100% sold on him being a big time head coach yet. Okay, with that being said, you ready to move on, brother? Big Ten. It was a busy week. Go ahead.
Yeah, I could see Penn State, if anything, going after them, because they always get talent like up front with the O-line and D-line, but where they've really struggled is like playmakers. Yeah, and that's something that he would bring to the table.
He would bring that to the table. Bring that to the table. So it is interesting. So keep your eyes on Coach Hartline for Penn State. Okay, moving on to some more Big Ten games. The Big Ten, usually it's been the SEC the last couple of weeks. That's been crazy. The Big Ten was a little wild this weekend. Looking at Indiana, Penn State. Indiana goes in there, almost slips up, but they survive. 27-24. Steele, I know you watched this one. Tell me about it.
This is hard. There's two sides to this. One is Indiana almost losing to a 3-5 Penn State. That's a really bad look. And then on the other hand, not every team is going to have their fastball week after week after week. Sooner or later, they're going to have a close game.
Right.
But you can't look at this game in a vacuum where, okay, it's a game against a Penn State who's still talented, because last week Ohio State showed the ability to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So following that up with the number 2 team just one spot behind, just being in a complete dogfight, winning in the last seconds.
Right.
You got to say this Indiana team is obviously not number 1, and honestly, I would put Texas A&M above them.
Yes.
So.
Well,
you look at the stats. It was the exact same performance on both sides.
Here's what I say. I will say that it's not. I get what you're saying, but it's not fair to compare the two games. You can compare them, but at the same time, Ohio State had them at home.
Yes,
and you know that you and I both know that Penn State, for how shitty it's going on over there, that they are a very talented football team. They have good ass players. And Happy Valley, if you keep it close and let them get going, then you can get in a close one. And they did come out. Indiana a couple times in that game looked like they had some opportunities to pull ahead, but they didn't take advantage of them. Penn State put Ohio State tough in the first half, but I do agree with you at the end of the day. I think Ohio State showed that they are the better team than Indiana, and I do agree with you that Texas A&M, who we're going to get into here soon, needs to be either at the 2 spot, and maybe some people you can make the case for him to be at the 1 spot, with given the the kind of quality they faced over top of Ohio State, just with the argument there. But I do like Ohio State at number 1. I do like Texas A&M at number 2. And for Indiana, this game, I mean, that was like I said, I will never look at Penn State with the talent they have as just a normal 3-5 or whatever they are, and especially at Happy Valley. So I think that was, a good win, especially that last drive in Mendoza, man. That was a hell of a drive, that catch by Omar Cooper. They showed some resiliency there. They showed some fight, and they're 10-0. They're 10-0. They got the win on the road in the Big Ten.
I mean, the only thing that it's a really good win, because these teams, they need to be battle tested at some point, whether it's against a 6-2 team or a 3-5 team. Teams need to be battle tested. It's just the fact that Ohio State played them the week before that makes me just a little iffy. But
yeah,
it's still a really good win. Being able to drive like that at the end of the game, that's no easy feat in Happy Valley. So Indiana still a good football team, but just Ohio. Oh, this makes Ohio State the clear number one.
I agree, but I do got a question for you.
Yeah.
We got to talk about our guy, Jimmy Knowles. He's heartbroken. He was probably looking forward to smoking that cigar, but I want you to talk about kind of his mindset to the 2-minute situation, because he was, especially down there in the red zone, knowing his kind of 2-minute mindset and then watching that game, that final drive for Indiana. What did you notice? Because I noticed, a lot of pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah, he kind of falls into two categories depending on where they are on the field and the situation. Either he's very big on off-ball man or some kind of fake blitz and then drop back into his zone, or he just tries to send the house and push him back. I think he was trying to do that to get him out of field goal range. Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah,
but yeah. At the start of the drive, he was kind of playing off most of the time. Probably like in California or something, just an off-ball man. And then once they got into that fringe red zone area, he wanted to bring the house and get him out of field goal range. And at that point, Mendoza, he was kind of just making plays, just throwing the ball up and stuff. So
we also still one thing. Sorry to cut you off, but one thing we also got to note for Indiana is they were without their best playmaker, Elijah Surratt. So we do got to bring that up.
That's true.
But, Any last things on Jimmy Knowles' defense?
No.
You feel bad for him?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a tough situation.
That's a tough situation, and I know he was getting ready to light up that victory cigar, but just couldn't get it done. Okay, moving on to the last Big Ten game we're talking about. This one, this is my favorite game. I don't know why. On John Deere, they got John Deere written on the field. It's pouring rain. It's packed. This was a slugfest. Both teams just dying on establishing that run game. I'm talking about Oregon 18, Iowa 16. Iowa, man, they seem to always get in these type of games, and sometimes every now and then they pull them off, but not nearly as much as I think they should be pulling them off, and they lose a heartbreaker, Oregon to Iowa. I'll keep going with this one first. Like I said, it was just like some good old-fashioned Big Ten football. I mean, watching that game, and Oregon played Big Ten football. I mean, they were the Big Ten champs last year, and they showed why this year, because that was not an easy game to go in, especially in conditions like that. They established a run and really, really got after it. Noah Whittington was dominant on the ground, and then when they got behind, Dante Moore, conditions like that, tough game. But that final drive, he showed that kind of ice in his veins that he showed in Penn State, gets his team in the field goal range, and you got to give that kicker credit. We usually don't bring up special teams too much, but kicking those 3 field goals in that game winner was big time. So Oregon, I know I've been seeing some of their fans pissed that they won that game by 2 points or whatever it was, but still, we knew this was going to be tight, and I give Oregon a lot of credit for pulling that one out, because that was not an easy place to go play at and get a W. What do you think?
Yeah, and they were able to get that win not playing their best ball.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of mistakes on both sides. There were a lot of times. Special teams for Iowa. They fumbled in Oregon territory. There are a bunch of plays on both sides where there was kind of miscommunication. Maybe some guy slipped because it was slippery as shit out there. So neither team had a perfect game, but Oregon, just being the big time program they are, they found a way to get the win. And like that Dante Moore throw in the 2-minute drill, just completely dropped in the breadbasket, got him field goal range. That's a big time throw. I mean, he put in that throw was on.
You're not going to see too many throws like that by college.
The one place that he could catch it in those kind of conditions, that play right there kind of just summarizes, I guess, the ability that this program has.
Yeah,
because it's a tough ask to go into Kinnick Stadium in just shitstorm and play this tough Iowa defense, this tough Iowa team. But they did it, even though they got punches a couple times. They got their licks back, and it's a really good win for Oregon. They showed what they could do on the ground. We know what they can do in the air, and they were missing a bunch of guys. They were missing their tight end. Just a bunch of key players were out of this game, but they still found.
They got to get healthy. They got to get healthy because they got a tough stretch coming down the road. You know what? I do want to bring up another game. I wasn't planning on bringing this one up, but we probably should. Wisconsin. beating Washington 13-10 with their punter as their leading passer. I mean, that's a really, 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 really bad loss.
That happened. I saw Wisconsin won, but
yeah, their leading passer, they had 200 yards of total offense, I think, and their leading passer was their punter. So, and they lost 13-10. And Washington was supposed to have a pretty good offense. So that's just, I mean, that's unacceptable. I know you're on the road again, tough conditions there, but that's unacceptable for Washington. And I'm hearing through the grapevine, I don't know if this is a valid source, but I'm hearing through the grapevine that Jeb Fish isn't enjoying his time in Seattle, that he's looking for an out already. So we'll keep an eye on Jeb Fish, head coach of Washington, but that's a bad loss. But I bring that up because Oregon, still a tough schedule. USC comes there in a couple weeks, and they got to play Washington, which is a big rival game. So we'll see how that unfolds for Oregon. Okay, moving on to the SEC.
Here we go.
And the game we got to bring up first, that I'm going to bring up first, is Texas A&M 38, Missouri 17, Steele.
Wait, I thought you said you're bringing it up first.
You want me to bring it up first?
Oh, no, I'll bring it up first. It was an ass whooping.
Yeah, it was.
It was an ass whooping. In all three facets of the game, Texas A&M has proven that they are just a fantastic team. On offense, you see Marcel Reed. He can stand in that pocket. He's got great pocket presence. He's making throws, and we know what damage he can do with his legs. They also have a great run game. The defense performs per usual. They gave a little bit on the ground to Ahmad Hardy and that other back, but for the most part, they held Zoller to like under 80 passing yards. So that's naturally going to happen. And people will say like this Missouri team, they're without their starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, they're still a ranked SEC team. We've raved about this defense over and over this season, and Texas A&M still able to get points on the board. Their defense is able to get points on the board. That's huge. So this team, they are a very scary team to play against right now. Yeah. They are clearly on top of the SEC along with Alabama. Georgia's right there on their tails. So just a dangerous team overall. Missouri, it's been a tough month or so. They started off so strong, and now this season's just kind of going down the toilet.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri, they got into that heat of the SEC play and really fell apart. But it is a shame because it did feel like this whole year they are one quarterback, capable quarterback away from being really good. But the thing that impressed me the most is Texas A&M able to move the ball up and down the field on this Missouri defense, because Missouri's defense, I mean, we like you said, we brought them up so many times, and Texas A&M, it's a complete team, Steele. It's a complete team, a really, really good team. They can run the ball. They play good defense. They have the playmakers. And we already hit on this a little bit, but Texas A&M versus Ohio State, how would you see this one going right now?
Right now, Ohio State combats A&M really well. You've got Arvo Reed, who would be huge in the battle against Reed and his scrambling abilities, getting out the pocket, so he could shut that down. We've got really good corners. We've got Caleb Downs that would help with those receivers, and then our run defense is just really good. Where I could see a little bit of struggle is Texas A&M gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and that's something Julian Saint hasn't experienced all year. So I'd be interested to see how he would deal with that, because we just haven't seen how he deals with it. It's still his first year starting, so I would want to see that. But if you give him time, we know what's going to happen on the outside. He's going to make throws. Those receivers are going to make plays for him. Yeah. In the run game, I don't even know what the run game would look like. It'd probably just be an air raid at that point.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say the two things that separates the team is, first off, Arvell Reese. He's going to shut down Marcel Reed. You tell Arvell Reese to go take care of Marcel Reed, he's going to take care of Marcel Reed. Mm-hmm. Secondly, looking at Ohio State, their run game, it scares me. It really, really scares me. And I think, like you said, if they got pressure on saying early, it would be tough. It would be tough. I think Ohio State should be number one. They're the defending national champions. They've been taking care of everybody. They've been handling their business. But with that being said, I do think I would favor Texas A&M right now in a hypothetical.
Really?
I do think so.
Okay, so why do you favor them?
I just think that the run game, the lack of being able to get the run game going early, they got to pass the ball. I think Texas A&M, even though with Arvell Reese, they're just more. They've proven to me they're a more complete team this year, just from the running dynamic, and they can do everything. Their special teams is good. We see punt returns. The defense is playing phenomenal. Their offense is good. They just look. I don't see any flaws with that team right now. And with Ohio State, as good as they are and as talented as they are, that there is some flaws here and there.
Okay, yes. There's flaws. I just think that the pros severely outweigh those flaws right now.
That is okay.
Again, like I get what you're saying. We both are scared of this running game for Ohio State.
Yeah.
But yes, they're playing shitty teams for the most part. And Texas A&M way above any team that they've played so far, besides like maybe Texas at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But that lack of a running game has not hindered their game whatsoever so far. So until I see it make an actual impact on the flow of a game, the flow of the play calling, then I will not say – I'm still scared for it, but I will not say that like it's a big issue.
Okay, fair enough. All right, moving on. Steele, we talked about this one, man. Championship November. Kirby Smart, the Georgia Bulldogs, they showed us both. We said they need to come out there, blow Mississippi State out if they want to show us they're a real deal contender. And, man, they blew the doors off Mississippi State. Gunnar Stockton, I think he's an underrated player. I really do. I don't think he gets the
I think he's great.
I think he's phenomenal. Maybe not underrated, but I don't think he gets like the media, like the national media hype that some of these other quarterbacks get. Because I think that the way he's playing, you can make the case that he's in the Heisman race as well. A lot of good players out there.
No.
Dude, he's playing pretty well.
He's not in the Heisman race.
In the top 7, top 8, I would put him in there.
I could give you 10 players above him.
Okay, I really like Gunnar Stockton. I like how he's playing. I like how he's controlling.
He's a great player. He's just not Heisman. Damn it.
Okay, what do you see with this Bulldogs team then, man? What makes them able to put on a dominant performance like that?
Couple things. We talked about it last week. They got the ground game going, and they got it going a lot earlier than usual. Nate Frazier, I think he had like 180 yards on 14 carries. They were getting stuff going on the ground. Stockton doing his thing in the air, screens, using tight ends on the seam. Offense was playing really well. What I really enjoyed seeing, and what a lot of Georgia fans were very happy to see, was their ability to make splash plays on defense, whether that was TFLs, sacks. Yep. They got a lot of pressure and a lot of just disruption in the backfield, which is something that this Georgia defense has not shown yet.
Yeah. So, and that Mississippi State offense was a good offense coming in.
They're a good offense. Yeah, they scored. The record doesn't show it, but they scored a lot. They've scored a lot of points throughout the season.
Yeah, 100%.
Outside of that A&M game, they score a lot of points. They keep games close.
Yeah,
and that did not happen this week.
No, they
Georgia went to Starkville, a hard place to play, and beat the shit out of them.
Dude, those bells were going too at the beginning of that one. That was probably the most impressive win for me was seeing Georgia beat them down like that.
And it kind of makes it could be an interesting scenario because right now, if Alabama and Texas A&M, they keep going, they're going to get in the SEC championship. Georgia's probably going to fall in at 5 in the playoff rankings. At that 5 spot, you're going to be at home against a shit group of 5 team. You're going to beat them. After that, you'll get the luck of the draw compared to like all these other teams playing the first round. You'll go against the number 4 team. Which would probably be, in my eyes, like an Indiana who loses the Big Ten, or maybe even a Texas Tech. Right. And compared to the other teams that you would have to play, that's a pretty good deal. So they would have a chance to get to the quarterfinals off of a group of 5 team, and then I guess the worst of a bunch of really good teams out of that top 4. So Georgia's a good spot.
And some people might even want that 5 spot over the top 4 spot because we saw all those teams that got the bye. It didn't work out for them too well. And I know some of these coaches, and I think I would want this deal that if I had an opportunity between getting that 5 seed and playing the group of 5 school or getting a bye week, I might take that. I might take that 5 seed.
Whenever the seedings came out last year, everyone was looking at that Penn State team at that 5 spot like, dude, they are set up perfectly. Now they're going to play Boise State at number 4. That there's not going to be a Boise State type of team at number 4, but still, that's a great spot to be in.
Yeah, there ain't no Ashton Genty for a group of 5 this year, man. That guy was unbelievable. Okay, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy versus Auburn. I got to give them credit, Steele. I got to give them credit. Auburn, first off, two things. I got to give both teams credit because Auburn, they've been holding teams. I brought this up. They're like one of the only teams to hold offenses under 24 points in every single game and had a losing record. They come out, their offense puts up 38 or whatever it was, and they lose in a heartbreaker, kind of Auburn way as well. So you got to give them credit for fighting, being able to put up points, and really having Vandy on the ropes. And then on the flip side, Vandy, Auburn's a pretty good team. They played people tight. Vandy, you got to give them credit for getting back into this one and finding a way to win. And once again, I got to listen to Pavia Heisman, though. That's just good game. But, man, like, come on, stop talking about it.
I mean, he 300 in the air, 100 on the ground. That's a damn good game.
No, it is a damn good game, but he's been inconsistent in my opinion. He's been up and down.
But for the War Eagles, benching Jackson Arnold and then putting in Ashton Daniels, doing that, having fired Hugh Freeze, and then coming out with that kind of performance on offense, that was really impressive.
Yeah.
And then you saw that just kind of unlock their weapons on the outside. Cam Coleman was unreal. That was like a Jeremiah Smith type of performance he had. 2 one-handed catches back to back.
They're the same class, I think, too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was a freshman last
year. Yeah, that guy's a freak, man.
But it just sucks if you're an Auburn fan. One of my buddies at the bachelor trip, he's a big-time Auburn fan. He's in the basement watching it, and it sucks because some games either your defense is on point and your offense can't do anything. I think that's happened a bunch this year. And the one game where your offense is able to go out there, get 38 points or whatever it was, your defense just can't stop anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and something for that could have been, the interim coach Durkin, who was actually the head coach at Maryland when I was getting recruited there. He did a really nice job, but he's also the defensive play caller. So now that he stepped up to be the interim head coach, maybe some distractions got in the way and the game plan might have gotten in the way. So that's probably why that defense you saw slip up, because their defense coordinator has only been focusing on defense. Now it's got to focus on being the head coach.
That's a good point. Shit,
so I think that's why you saw Auburn's defense slip up. But, man, Vandy, you got to give them credit for pulling this one out. Okay, so the last SEC game I want to talk about, Alabama versus LSU. LSU, Brian Kelly not there anymore. They came out, they fought pretty hard in this game. You got to give them some credit. Yeah. But the storyline I want to focus on here is Nussmeier. I mean, this is kind of had a chance to be the top quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks picked. Pretty surefire first-round draft pick last year. Decides to come back, and now you look at his season, losing season, head coach fired, and you're getting benched. What are your takeaway on this and the whole Nussmeier situation? Because that's a pretty tough one to swallow if you're him.
Yeah, it sucks because as a quarterback, whenever you're not on your game, you want help from some other factors, whether that's your O-line giving you a little more time to go through your progression, or your wide receivers going out making plays on maybe a bad throw. But he's not getting any of that right now. It's the exact opposite, at least for the O-line. Because Alabama, they were killing them up front, had no time to throw, getting a lot of pressure, and it's one of those things like you're already off your game, spinning it now. All these progressions, they're just sped up because you don't have the time to sit back and kind of just go through every single read. So it sucks for him because you wish that he had a little more help to get him out of this, because he's a talented quarterback, but just the dice isn't going his way right now, and it sucks to see, especially getting benched in a big time game like that. That would kill me.
Oh, it would kill. It did. Well, the thing that stood out to me is when you and they brought this up at halftime. Ty Simpson was pushing the ball down the field all night long, and that dude he's a real deal Heisman contender. And on the flip side, Nussmeier, I think he maybe lost a little bit of confidence. You don't see him and plus he's getting pressure. He's been having pressure all year long, so he's not used to being able to push the ball down the field because he hasn't had time to push the ball down the field. But he did have some opportunities, and for whatever reason, he wasn't pulling the trigger. And I don't blame LSU. Listen, you got nothing to lose. You got to keep trying different stuff up, and so I don't mind them pulling the quarterback and putting in the backup there. But overall, Alabama versus LSU is always going to be a tough game, and Bama should be proud of themselves for pulling this one out.
It was a nice defensive battle It wasn't like a 2011 like 9-6 game of the century type of thing, but it was a good game because LSU did really good on offense. They stopped the run game with Jam Miller and everything. Yeah. They gave up some explosives, but this Ty Simpson-led offense is really good. You're going to give up a few explosives. Yeah. For the most part, they did good, held them to 20 points, but they can't get their offense going. You need complementary football to go in Tuscaloosa.
It's killed them all year long. It's killed them all year long. It's the offensive line. It starts with the offensive line. Then it's just been a horrible season for that offense. And I did want to bring up this because the defense, overall they played good this year, but the last couple of weeks they have been playing, kind of shitty as well. But they played good against Bama. They bounced back. But I want to bring up Blake Baker because we talked about him, and I want to bring up your guy Whit Weeks. And he said losing Whit Weeks was like losing a big-time starting quarterback. And he emphasized how much that loss really hurt. And I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that, when you lose a linebacker. Tell real quick, what does the linebacker have to do other than just running and hitting people?
I mean, it is the quarterback of the defense because it's heightened even more with this new green dot thing that they're doing now. Before, you could just have signals on the sideline. Everyone can get their own signals. The linebacker, of course, is going to make checks, set the front and everything. But now with the green dot, you're huddling up. Everyone's listening to this one guy. He's telling them what play they're in. He's telling the D lineman what front, what formation, not what front, if it's a tight front, if it's an under front. He's setting it. He's helping in the back end with different sort of format. Like if you see a formational tendency, he'll be talking to the safety. He's just doing everything.
Everything.
He's working up front. He's working in the back. He's talking to everybody on the field. And if you take that central communication away, it's gonna hurt that defense.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of the railroad that kind of connects everything.
Yeah.
You take that one piece away, shit gets hectic. And his brother's doing a good job stepping in, but I mean, Whit Weeks is a supreme talent, and it's hard to replace that.
I agree. Yeah, man, you break that down wonderfully. Okay, moving on, Steele. First off, is there any Big Ten games or any SEC games that I'm missing?
Not that no, I think we covered all of it.
Okay, now we got to move into a conference deal. That's a shit show, a total shit show. We put this on upset alert. It happened. Our Fighting Mitchell Mountains, they lose to Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Then Louisville playing against Cal. You got to take care of Cal, especially when you're at home. They don't. They lose. So the top two teams in the ACC right now, Louisville and Virginia, they lose. But who's going to win this ACC, man? Who's going to win?
I don't care anymore. It's a shit show. At this point, what I want to happen right now, the top 5 teams I believe are Georgia Tech, SMU, Louisville, Pitt, and Duke. Yeah. What I want to happen is I want Duke to find a way to win out and win the ACC, because if that happens, a current 5-4 Duke win the ACC and get in the playoffs on an automatic bid, I think they will change the rule.
So you want something to happen where it forces them to put the actual true team.
I want a 4-loss Duke who got the shit beat out of them by Illinois gets in the playoffs because the ACC gets an auto bid. An auto bid. I think that will destroy auto bids. That will be good because you won't have an 18th seed ACC and a non-ranked Power 5 team get in the playoffs, just making it a cakewalk for whoever plays them whenever they're at 12 and 11.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rooting for at this point, because the ACC, every single time a team's on top, the next week they lose. You saw it with Georgia Tech, saw it with Miami. Now we're seeing it with Louisville and Virginia at the same time. It's terrible.
No, I agree that the ACC, dude, they're always getting some flack for the conference overall, but this year they are not doing themselves any favor. I will say Haynes King, one of the best players in the country. We've said this 100 times, so I do want to see Georgia Tech pull it out. Okay, now with all of that being said, I want to do a quick little segment with you. Give me your top 5 Heisman watch list after week 11? And if you want, I can go first.
Okay, so no, I'll go first. Top
Okay,
five guys that I think should go to New York. Okay.
Yes, top 5.
Number 1, I am going to put Julian. Number 1 or 2, I'm putting Julian Sain and Jeremiah Smith. Bias. But either way, Julian Sain, one of the most efficient seasons of all time right now. Jeremiah Smith, not only is he playing really well, but he's just making plays that no other player can make in all of college football. So I'm going to have those teammates go there. At 3, I'm going to go Ty Simpson. He has revitalized this Alabama offense. He's gone against the best competition of anyone who's going to be in that Heisman race. He shows week in, week out, he is a leader for that team, and he can absolutely spin it. Number 4, I would go a toss-up between Marcel Reed and Fernando Mendoza. I would more lean towards Reed because he's doing it against slightly better competition. But both of those guys really calm in the pocket. Marcel Reed has that aspect with his legs. Mendoza maybe just has better stats, but that's because he beats the shit out of a lot of these lesser teams. At 5, I saw a clip of this and I agreed full-heartedly. I'm putting Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech there.
Yeah. Oh, still, real quick, you brought up turnovers, how he has the
ability. Oh, my gosh. Time out. We didn't bring up Texas Tech BYU, brother.
I mean, Texas Tech, let's hop into it right now. Texas Tech, man, that defense is legit. They beat the shit out of BYU. It really wasn't close. BYU's defense, give BYU's defense credit because this could have been like 40. This could have been like 40 something to nothing. But they kept them to field goals, kept holding them down when they needed to. So you got to give BYU credit there. But at the end of the day, Jacob Rodriguez and dude, his girlfriend, the what is she, like an Army Ranger or something? Did you see that?
She flies black. Yeah, I mean it was funny because at the bachelor party, half of the guys they went to Air Force, so they're big, and one guy's a pilot. Like they know that world really well, so it was just interesting, like hearing them talk about it whenever they're bringing it up. But yeah, she's a badass.
She is, dude. Man, that's going to be a tough family, man. That is a tough family.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, that Texas Tech defense. I think BYU only had like 9 plays in Texas Tech territory, and Rodriguez a pick. Got a fumble recovery. Like every single week, he is making big plays. And we said that was a big part of this game was you got inexperienced quarterback in Bear Bachmeier. If you can cause turnovers,
he played like a freshman.
He did. We said like sooner or later it's going to happen, and it finally happened. So that team scares me, dude, because that's
what I was going to ask you, Steele. I know Big 12. We were kind of up and down about the Big 12. But after a performance like that and the defenses looks as good as they do, would you be kind of worried if you're an Ohio State or a Texas A&M or an Alabama and you got to play this and you run into this team in the playoffs? Or
if they keep getting better, yeah, because the defense is good, but the scary part of it is the turnovers, where a turnover can change a game in an instant. So that's always a scary part of it, and that's what they thrive on, especially Rodriguez. He's caused 7 fumbles, 3 picks now, so that's 10 already. And then on offense, more than this offense, they're fast-paced. They like taking shots downfield. And we've seen Patricia's defense just like a little bit in this fast-paced defense. They can't get in disguises and stuff, so that would be really hard for them. So as far as with Ohio State, if this Texas Tech team continues getting better, that would be a very hard matchup.
Yeah, Texas Tech, man, Romello Height, Rodriguez, that defense is one of my favorite defenses to watch.
Bailey on the edge, he'll probably be a first rounder.
Those guys, they do have some real deal freaks on that defense. And they had a running back, Quentin Joyner. He was at USC still, and this is no USC bias, I promise you. This kid is unbelievable. He was really good for us last year, young guy. Goes over to Texas Tech, gets some of that NIL money. He's from Texas. He wanted to go back home, and I was really, really looking forward to his year because, dude, he's legit, but he got hurt real bad. So if they had him, they'd be even scarier. Texas Tech, real deal team. So, Steele, let's get back to it. I think Rodriguez.
Rodriguez would be my 5th in there. Like you compare the season to Manti Te'o.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, he has, I think, like 88
tackles. Better stats, right? I think he's better stats all around.
The only thing that's different is Teo had a bunch of picks at this point, which is kind of crazy. But he's combated that with punching out the ball 7 times and then also 3 picks.
Which is unheard of.
Yes. So in a year where the quarterback play is really good, but there hasn't been anyone that has just jumped out crazy, I say you put a linebacker, at least get him into New York because he's played like a New York kind of guy. Like it's been a stellar season for him.
Still, I mean, I tell you what, I wasn't going to put him in my top 5, but you just sold me on him, and he definitely a defensive guy should be represented, and he deserves to be there. So I'll start with him. I'll put him at the 5 spot. I'll put him at the 5 spot. Him, or if you want to make a case for all offense, Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, or the kid yeah. So Jeremiah Love, who that's what I was going to put in my 5. Right now, Georgia Tech losing stuff. I had Haynes King in there all year long, but unfortunately, I got to bump him out. So I'm putting in Rodriguez or Jeremiah Love at the 5 spot. Then at the 4 spot, this is where it gets a little tough. At the 4 spot, I'm going to go with – you're going to be mad. I'm going to put Julian Sand at number 4.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay. I mean, very efficient. Dude's got pinpoint accuracy. I love how he's playing. This is just from a total competition standpoint at this point. But if he wins the thing, I would not be mad at it at all because he's playing for what he has and the position he's in. He is getting everything out of it, and he's playing like a real deal. I mean, he's a great, great player. Yes. So at number 4, I got Sand. At number 3, for the same kind of reason, but I just like him a little bit better, and he kind of has that moment, I guess you want to say. And there's been a lot of debate about this because it's like Penn State, and I know you're going to, knowing how you think, you'd probably be on that side as well. But that final drive was a hell of a drive.
No, no matter who they're playing against, that's a very impressive drive.
That was a Heisman moment, and moments matter. So Fernando Mendoza at number 3 because the competition overall is there. Then at 2, you could flip this around, with him. But Marcel Reed, I do like how Marcel Reed's playing
at 2.
At 2 or at
you said he's at 2?
Yeah, I would have. I would have him at 2. Maybe Mendoza at 2. I just like that. I like the I'm just looking at competition here. Mendoza playing really well, has his Heisman moment. Now, Marcel Reed doesn't have my number 1 is going to be Ty Simpson. He's gone through test after test. That dude, but what I love about Ty Simpson is his off the field stuff, because you and I both know that his leadership alone and the type of guy he is, he saved this Alabama team.
Yeah.
He saved their season. If they didn't have him at the quarterback position, this, Steele, I know this, they'd be 4 or 5 loss football team, because not just for they can have someone who plays just like Ty Simpson, but Ty Simpson is that extra coach. I mean, and he is just a great, great leader, and you can see it. It's so obvious that this guy gets it done. So I like Ty Simpson because he's really, really saved this Alabama team, in my opinion. So I would have him at number 1. Number 2.
So you went in, or I just went 5. I didn't have him in any sort of order.
This is an order for me. This is an order.
This is an order.
I'd have Simpson at 1. Competition, the way he's playing on and off the field, I love it. Number 2, it's tough because Marcel Reed, he hasn't had that like normal SEC gauntlet, but he's still really thrived, and he's playing his ass off, and he has faced better competition than the next 2 guys. So I got Marcel Reed, then Mendoza. I like his season. I like that moment. He showed that crunch time, pressure time don't matter. Number 4, this guy's pinpoint accuracy. He's doing as good as he can and just getting everything out of it. And then number 5, you can toss up between Jeremiah Love, Rodriguez. And then if I had to pick a guy, just kind of throw in there the kid from Nebraska. The running back from Nebraska is doing a hell of a job too. So
it's hard because I want them all to go, but for my rankings, I want to leave 2 spots. I think Jeremiah Smith, for being the best player in college football by a large margin, I think he should go. Yeah. And then, of course, I want a linebacker there because that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
It's one of those things where you're kicking out like 2 outstanding quarterbacks that deserve to go, but I just want a little more representation from the other from the other positions in a year where they should get representation.
I agree.
And of course, I've got my bias with saying
he's a Heisman favorite still.
I know. So I would go in this, or I would go Simpson and then saying kind of 1A, 1B.
Okay.
And then as much as Mendoza and Marcel Reed deserve to get in, I'm going to put Jeremiah Smith and then Jacob Rodriguez in there. They get 4 spots, right? There's 4?
Yeah, I think it's 4. It's 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Maybe they can use it as fuel for the rest of the year, but
rest of their lives. Yeah, no, it's gonna somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick, and it's unfortunate, but there is a lot of good players out there this year. Okay, Steele, that wraps up Week 11 recap. Do you got anything else?
I got nothing, brother.
All right, bro. This is a good episode. Dude, it felt like it's been a minute for some. I guess we filmed Tuesday or Wednesday.
Because we filmed early last week on Wednesday, and now we're filming late this week on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's been a while. You've been out there running around doing God knows what.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right, man. Good episode, brother.
All right.